Hello. So welcome along. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Just let me know in the chat. I'm here to set up my new studio and we've just moved house. So at the moment I have a screen and a couple of lights set up and a whole load of boxes to move around me. So I'm going to talk as I set up. And I hope you enjoy this live stream. Okay, where do we start? I feel like it's a magical moment as I set this up, and I'm really looking forward to creating more songs here in my last studio. I created 106 albums, and I'm sure there'll be many more in this studio. So yeah, looking forward to doing that. If you'd like to, just let me know in the comments if you're if you can able to hear me okay. That'd be really cool. So let me know in the chat. That'd be fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, and as I get all set up, I'll be able to take you through some of my latest experiences of doing darkness clearing, healing, and gift activation sessions, as well as some of my meditations and music as well. So yeah, let's get started. I really don't know where to start. I'm gonna, hopefully you can hear me as I walk around. I'm just gonna start setting up some stuff over here as I chat. And yeah, I could start by telling you all about my dream last night. It was quite an incredible dream. It's quite rare that I remember all of my dreams and all of my dreams in such a vivid lucid way. And so in this dream, I was part of a team, like a small team, often in teams of perhaps 8 or so people. And what was really incredible was there was this mission that we had where each of us had a different role, and my role was to get inside, like as a journalist, to get inside of a military installation and really to find out more about what they were doing with some of the alien and galactic races interactions that had been going on. And it was quite interesting. It was like one of these movies where you're like a different character. And for me, I was like a taller, bigger guy, about the same age. And what was really interesting was it wasn't like an NPC where the avatar was completely expendable, but I was much more relaxed in my role. Like I knew that even though there could have been consequences to my actions, it was still somehow recoverable and protected. So that was really cool. What am I focusing on? I'm focusing on setting up my guitar and mixing desk first. Yeah, so let's get this mixing desk. It's a big Tascam Model 24. And it's very heavy. Excuse me, Patch. I got my dog Patch here with me. Yeah, let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay with my headphones on. So yeah, in the stream. Oh, this is my Model 24 Tascam. 24, yes, Model 24 Tascam, which I've written I think about 50 or 60 albums on. I'm going to put it here on the desk next to you guys. So where did I get to in my dream? Yeah, so there's this we're in a city. It was a city in America, and I'm not sure exactly where. it was just kind of downtown, and we're outside this like office block, and I'm standing out there with 2 or 3 of my team members, and we're discussing like, oh, how are we going to get in? Like, we want to really find out what's going on. And there was 2 security guards outside, and they weren't letting anyone in. And so what I was just like determined. I was like, this is going to happen. I'm going in no matter what. And the security guards just like weren't allowing any of it. And so what I saw, like just down to the right hand side of the door, there was this like a photographer setup. So like a tripod, like my phone is on just now, and quite a big camera, like one of these big XLR cameras. And so and hello to Alex, thank you. That's great, you can hear me perfectly. Yeah, so I just picked up this camera and I threw it through perfectly. Yeah, so I just picked up this camera and I threw it through the glass. I was going to throw it through the glass door of this military building, and just at that moment, as I picked up the camera, picked up the stand, I walked to the security guards, and they said, "Oh, you must be the photographer. Please come in." Even though just seconds ago I was just like, they were just saying no, like you're never coming in. And so I went inside the building, and position this desk right. Yeah, I went inside, and it's like I didn't have a security pass. I really didn't know where I was going, so I just gradually followed people, and my heart chakra singing bowl. So I just followed people, and what happened was, it was really interesting. Like at every stage, there was just this happy coincidence. You know, like in the Star Wars movies where, and I don't believe in coincidences, but in the Star Wars movies, like the first one that came out, when they said, you know, these aren't the droids you're looking for, or whatever the line was. It's like this Jedi mind power trick, and it was like someone was doing that for me constantly. So I just needed to relax into it and step through like doors. Like whenever I was getting close to a door that didn't have security pass, I would just wait a second, and people would open it. They would just be like, they wouldn't open it for me, but the opportunity would arise for me to just step through it. And after we explored for a little while, as I explored a little while through the first couple of floors, and my drum seat, I came to this area, and it was really interesting. It was like this giant silo of many floors, like these kind of mezzanine floors, all around this circular silo. I don't know how big it was, maybe about the size of a house in terms of the diameter of the circle. And put my microphone on. And so the really interesting aspect of that was that there was someone living at the very bottom of the silo, and I was talking to someone else that was there, and they were just saying, well, originally the military thought that the solar activity in the planet and the solar activity and its effect on the planet, and then also like this kind of ascension of our planet would require us to go underground to be safe, and so they invested huge amounts of money in being as far underground as possible. But they realized quite quickly that it didn't really matter like how far down you go. This whole planet is ascending, and that was really cool. It's like an amazing message. It's like it doesn't matter what you do, there's no escaping. And so the next thing was I'm doing so far, but microphone, mixing desk, I need guitar and guitar stand. This is such a different setup than what I've done before. I think it's cooler. So yeah, I got down to the bottom of these mezzanine floors in this kind of silo, and there was this young guy living there, and it was just like the whole place. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, it's a beautiful message. And yeah, right down to the bottom of the silo, there's this guy talking, this like young guy, and he's like, "Oh, what's the point? You know, I just show up for work every day, and I just do my job, and like nothing much happens, and it doesn't really matter whether I'm down here or up on the surface." And it's just a very kind of lackadaisical approach to life, and it was just a real contrast. I think the reason I was being shown it was because I always imagined these military bases underground as being like super highly effectively run and optimal. And so when you go down there and it's just like this guy like camping out, reminded me of my teenage kids in their messy rooms. This is my Lindo guitar. I have two of these. This is what I write all my songs on, most of them. It's from a company in the UK, and it is just a beautiful Lindo Karma electric acoustic. Highly recommend them. So yeah, after we left the silo area, we then went on to eventually find, and this took quite a while, like going through this maze of places, we found this area of where the kind of top secret, I guess you call them experiments, but it wasn't like a laboratory. I love the devil's horn for devil. What do you call it? The trident. The Halloween decorations. So yeah, I finally entered this room, and it was really strange. It was like when I first went into the room, it was big and open and just dark, and there was really nothing there. Drumsticks, need those. And so I started walking deeper into the area, and what I found was it was almost like it was lunch break, and so these people were sitting around these tables. It reminded me like a high school kind of lunch hall, or at least what they looked like in the UK. And people were just chatting and talking away. And as I passed, I passed a group of them together, about 6 or 8 at a table. There was it's a big box of many wires. Yeah, there was like this table of people chatting, and they had like reptilian eyes, so they looked humaniform. These are drumming gloves. They're in human form, completely human. Nothing really different about them. But their eyes, they all had different color eyes. So their pairs of eyes would be the same color. But I remember green eyes, and then someone had yellow eyes, I think red, and perhaps like pink or something, which is really unusual. And that was super cool to see, because as I passed them, they were really very friendly, loving people, and they were really curious about me. And it was at that point I realized that they were kind of scanning me like looking at my energy as I passed. And what was really cool about that was that it was almost like, although I was in an avatar and I didn't look anything like I do now, um, the reason that I was in this kind of human form was like I was taking my energy. So it was like bringing in my energy as this happy, high vibrational being. And so it meant that when I went to other places, people wouldn't like be super freaked out and go, "Oh no, you're like up to no good." So there's very much a kind of curious and playful feeling that I had throughout. Um, so that was really cool. And as I kind of scanned them, this all happened in seconds. I was like, wow, these are really gifted, and they're quite young people. Some of them were in their early 20s, some were teenagers, and I think some maybe just a bit over, probably around 10 years old. And what was really lovely was that they were really curious about me and they wanted to talk to me even as quickly as I passed. And as I got close to, it could have been like the restrooms, the toilet door, there was this, I think like a fairly young boy, maybe like 13, 14, and he had green eyes, like green reptilian eyes. And I just said to him, I asked him, do you channel, hey, Unity Rising, thank you for coming. I'm setting up my studio and telling you about a dream I had last night. So as I spoke to this this young boy with his reptilian eyes, I said, do you channel source energy? Do you talk to source? And he was like, yes, I do. And I said, practice it. Do it each day. And he said, okay. And I said, you should set your intention when you talk to source. So just set your intention and say, ask a question like, what messages do you have for me, or to ask more about your origins, or you can ask any question you want. And I said, yeah, okay, I could do that. And I said, that's what I do. I ask for messages every day. So in my daily meditation, I just say, guides, higher self, source, please. What messages do you have for me today for the highest good, love, and compassion? And this cable's far too like a massive mess, and you can't see what I'm doing. So that was a really lovely encounter, and it made me realize the similarities in us, despite their very obvious different eyes. And then what was really cool. Thank you. It's been so long since I remembered a dream. So excited to share. And what I realized was that even though there's quite dramatic differences in us, in our physical appearance, there's just this real beauty to the fact that the similarities of our abilities. And I was also really, really delighted that they were so young. It was like, isn't that great that there's this beautiful being that is on this journey at such a young age, because it takes a long time to develop these gifts, and the longer you live and practice them, the better they get. After that, I don't really know what happened. I think my alarm clock went off. My feeling is that the part of me that was still, like the kind of dimension of me that was still fulfilling that part of the mission of the dream, just like continued on, and with the main objective just to get some photos, like just to get some evidence. And I think some of it was just to witness what was going on, and just listening it. I'm expecting a delivery of my daughter's bed, so just listening out for that in the house. So that was really vivid dream, and I can kind of pause the dream there and talk a bit about some of the experiences I've been having with like dragon energies and reptilian energies. I make that sound so ominous. And I want to kind of introduce the subject by sharing like a beautiful message that my one of my coaches, Sheila McNeil, shared. So she shared like a channeling, and she just said, there's this kind of joke with the Galactic Federation that when you want to scare, if you want to scare any race around the universe, just send in the reptilians first. And it's because they're so foreboding. They're like this big, dominant, these big, beautiful, strong, like warrior creatures that are so dominant and aggressive, largely, and that's definitely like the reaction that so many of us have to the reptilian race. Like when you hear about it, you're just like, wow, I did these like snake people, and it feels it feels like there's Heidi says, you said they would be good for me in a message. Yeah, I'll definitely come on to that. So just plug in this microphone. Yes, so some of my experiences recently, I've been doing more light language videos. I was doing a little bit less because I'm busy moving house, as you can see. Hopefully you can see me over here. Hello. And in those light language videos, my setup is totally different to what I expected. I'm gradually remembering many things I had to connect to, so I'm glad I had a couple of hours. These things, these boxes to connect into my my microphone. So, and one's just power, and one is kind of an amplifier. It's called a cloud lifter, which I think is a cool name. Yeah, so recent light language videos I've been channeling more messages from like dragon energy, and I find my intuitive experience of dragon energy is that for me it feels much more like it feels very ancient and like an energy that's been around, very wise energy that's been around since the dawn of this universe. And what's really beautiful is being able to connect in with that energy, because there's such kind of raw power and creativity, but at the same time this this power, this fire, this creativity, and this protection. I always see the dragon energy like holding their heart and holding their egg, and it's like their egg is their prized possession. And so bitch. So they're always protecting their hearts or their loved ones. And certainly through my experiences over the last few years, this is my guitar pedals. I have to show you these. I don't really show them on camera much. This is like a pedal board. which is you basically buy this frame, and then just like I also have a passion for collecting many crystals, musicians often have a passion for collecting these pedals, and so it's like actually one was faulty, so I took it off, but it has a looper. This is for I usually use it as like a click track for when I'm recording a song. There's a distortion pedal, which I use for all my electric guitar songs. Compressor. There's a wah-wah pedal, which you put your foot on and go backwards and forwards. A reverb pedal and an echo. It used to have a bass simulator, so you could turn it on and it would like reduce the bass part of your like your guitar, like you played acoustic guitar, and just it would drop the notes by I'm just noticing my battery's gradually going down, not up, even though it's plugged in. But yeah, you can reduce the bass by an octave, and that's really cool. So I'm going to leave this down to the side at the moment. So yeah, I love. Sorry, Patch, trying not to stand on you the whole time. I think he just loves the carpet, and this is the only carpeted area. The other half isn't carpeted. And so whilst all that's very beautiful as a resonant energy for me, I did also find that when I connect more and more with the energy in meditation and light language, that it was just really, really enjoyable. This really beautiful fire. I always feel like the dragon energy releases so much. So forward wind to recently, since I moved home, so I've just been here 1 week, which is fantastic. It's such an amazing house, and I'm sure if I'm still live and still have managed to keep my battery power up, even though I'm losing power while charging, that I'll be able to share more about surrendering to the universe and I was able to go through probably the most powerful manifestation I've ever experienced. Yeah, but recently in client sessions, so to give you a little bit of a background, I do darkness clearing, healing sessions where it's like energy work. It might look a little bit like giving people kind of intuitive readings and a mix of that and Reiki. I don't know any Reiki. I've never trained or been taught it, but it's like may appear. And what I do in the sessions is I work with people to remove any negative energies, excuse me, Pitch, and clear out any negative attachments. And I have a website, jonbinnie, jonbinnie.com. You can book a session with me anytime. But yeah, in those sessions, there's really been, I could spend hours talking about the incredible experiences, and maybe I will get onto that in a bit more detail, but to summarize my recent experiences with dragon energy has been, there's been quite a few people that I've been working with that have had attachments that are either like a kind of snake attachment, so like seeing snakes across people's like either in the heart, I've seen them in the heart chakra, down across like the high heart, the heart, all the way down to root chakra. I did one, I did a remote session just earlier this week where someone had like this, it was like an attachment, and it was the size, it was bigger than them, which I've never seen, and it was this like it was like this kind of reptilian being that had its head was like kind of attached on to the side of this person, and then its tail was all the way down. Its tail started at their feet, and the tail was just dragging off. Oh no, that's a bad joke. On the ground, and so what I was doing was I was able to clear it. It was huge, and it took a lot of effort. In fact, it took myself, Archangel Michael, and two of my guides, and it took quite a few of us just to be able to move that being away. And I was really curious, like why I'm seeing dragons and snakes and more and more in my healing sessions. Like I'd say, I usually do a couple of about 2 a week, and this has been like, I don't know, at least half, maybe 2/3 are some sort of attachment in with that shape or form. I would say that these attachments are they totally vary in their size and shape. They can be anything, and I don't think there's any limitation to the form that they can be. So imagine the most common I see are like worms, and the worms are, I know, usually about this big, and they remind me of leeches. They're like little energetic attachments that you or I can pick up anywhere as we're walking around. And what they do is they just kind of attach onto you at any part of your human form or your light body, and then they're ideally they're looking for an open wound, to some area of you that's not been healed yet. And if they can do that, they will be the most successful at feeding. But I think they can pretty much feed off of any area of you. And so when I'm doing client sessions, I often see them at any part, like often around the throat, the heart chakra, but they can be anywhere. And it's not, I really don't feel it's anything to be scared of. I think it's just really good to be aware of. Just like if you're standing, in a street, you'd hope you're more likely to get a positive thought or comment from someone than a negative one. And it's just like, it's like that energetically as well. You can have attachments, positive and negative. Back to dragons. So I was talking with a dear friend this week, and I'd removed let's take a second. I'd removed a reptilian being from her, and it was really hard to see and to remove. And so some of these beings, I'd say the vast majority, are opportunists. They're just there for feeding, and the way that attachment feeds is typically to provoke the host. I think, now I'm not a biologist, right, but I think this is what, for instance, flies do. What a fly will do is it'll land on a cow or a person and irritate them, like irritate the skin, so that the host then scratches the skin, and then they can feed. And what I'm sure there's better analogies than a fly or a mosquito, but what attachments do is they attach onto you, and then they're looking for an open wound, because open wounds have the most energy to siphon. Short. Excellent. And so often what they'll do is they'll find somewhere where they can just they can just leech off the wound and keep provoking it. So let's say you have you're suffering from sadness or depression. What they can do is they could find the area of your body that has the wound that's causing those feelings for you. So it might be like it might manifest energetically as like a hole in your heart, or like a wounding or a scarring in your heart chakra, and the attachment will just connect onto you, and then whenever it needs to feed, it will just almost see it like putting its claws into the wound. And for the host, they feel much worse. So that feeling of anxiety they had about perhaps being sad or being unhappy is then increased. And so the attachment then gets a lot more energy from that. All of my cables are really huge. This is because I have a smaller studio, and now it's like I don't need a cable this big, and now they're all like this. They're just like huge. So this will be fun. I'm determined not to buy new stuff. That's an addiction I want to let go. Oh, this is good. So yeah, when I removed this like reptilian entity from my friend, it was really unusual. It was shifting between dimensions. So like when you have it reminded me of when you have a hologram, and like one of these pictures that's like a hologram, and when you move like from side to side, it looks like its eyes are following you, or its face moves. And what was really fascinating was that I just said to her, it was, before I removed it, it was doing its very best never not to be seen, because it did not want to be removed. And it also wasn't really there to just feed. It was more like an attack. It's more like the attachment did not want my client to develop their gifts, to be happy. It was really out to slow them down or stop them. And that's really rare to see. I've only seen that less than a handful of times in probably 50 plus sessions. And it tends to be the most powerful, or I feel we're all equally powerful, but it's more like they're just getting to a stage where they're really activating. Yeah, let's try this. I'm going to try and make this like really neat as I go. So wish me luck, and hopefully I won't knock over the camera here. Okay. So I managed to like connect with this attachment with several guides, assistants, Archangel Michael. I was able to remove it. It's fantastic. And before I'd done this, my client was saying they were talking to a friend, and the friend had said, "Oh yeah, I saw," and they tried to take a photo of this, that they saw that that my clients had their eyes, when they were talking to them, their eyes changed like reptilian eyes, and that's quite incredible, because it's like, for me then to have a dream about it. Now, of course, you can say, "Oh, John, your dream was, just a, beautiful imagination and elaboration on experience that you've had both in your front sessions, and then also this experience of someone witnessing someone's eyes changing." And it's all possible. It feels very much connected. And what I was talking to my client about, and I feel the same thing applies to me, is really about understanding the origins of the reptilian aspects of us. And so that's a good segue into talking a bit about the aspects of us that, or certainly me, that relate to like dragon energy and reptilian energy. And one of them is I have several friends who I guess I describe as like, kind of tribe members that help me with both. They both coach me and are also there with me in the astral realms in client sessions, and they have like a raven energy or crow energy, and they appear as like kind of dark angels, or as always with like black feathers, or as a crow or a raven, and I don't know a huge amount about the kind of evolution origins of these beautiful animals. I have a lot of crows that live around me where I live here in Scotland, and there's also I see them loads when I'm out running in the morning. They're always like guiding and protecting me, and I think their evolutionary origins go back to being reptilians, and often you see that. I always see that in the feet. These bird feet remind me very much of like dinosaur feet. Although we never really knew what dinosaurs looked like, so I guess that's a kind of projection as well. And I was talking to my guides yesterday, and they were saying, well, often the birds are like the friendly version of reptilians, so they're like this kind of higher vibration evolution of reptilians. And I know some kind of tribe members who are they have like avian or blue avian guides or soul origins of past lives. And what's really beautiful about that is they are I feel like the avians, whenever I connect with them, they appear to me in like a humanoid form in my third eye, and they have this really high vibration, happy, almost like they're on the verge of laughing all the time. They're really joyous to connect with, and really beautiful and very graceful. And what I love about them is they'll just they can also host Bluray energies. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the Blurays, but they are like a very highly evolved galactic race who for a microphone, the microphone's there. Yeah, they're a highly evolved race who have learned how to host other the avians are able to host Blurays as a soul, and that it's almost like taking like the highest order of angels or of source, and then attempting to bring that into a physical manifestation. And what's hard about that is that you really need a high vibrational host, like the form. And I don't think a human form, or certainly our human forms, are evolved enough for that. But it's happening. Like our DNA is upgrading all the time. And so the Bluray energy, I've had in quite a few client sessions. They're really quite incredible beings to connect with, and often when they show up, I'm like, they show up as like this big blue like cloud, this energy cloud. I'm like, where do I talk to? What are you? Please explain. Like I find it quite hard as a human to really connect with them. Um, so the avians are really great. Often what will happen in the session is an avian like will step forward, or the Bluray will just say, well, how about I just become an avian and like show myself as an avian, and then you have a humanoid you can talk with. And I'm like, yeah, I find that much easier. Thought that was a DJ. No. But I do write a song every day, so I hope you enjoy those. And where to get to? Yeah, so the Blu-rays often are the friendly face of other races, and the aliens, I feel, are also have connections with the reptilians. And I just want to be clear that in all the words I use around this is that I don't, just like the human race, I don't feel that the reptilian race is any, you know, certainly don't believe they're all evil. But just like the human race, there's, you know, light and dark in all of us. And so my intuition is that the reptilians, when they want to like show up and connect with people, that they won't appear, first of all, they won't appear as like just a big oppressive warrior and say hi. As the joke is, if you want to scare a race, just send in the reptilians first. And so I'm starting to appreciate the more and more people I connect with that have a reptilian or avian sides, and often the two are related. But equally, I feel that many of the galactic races do connect and do talk. Yeah, and that was really interesting. I was just reflecting on my dream last night about why have the, you know, what is the military's desire to be able to navigate through the planet's ascension and still retain their power. And what came through for me was they've moved from plan A, which was take everyone underground and then control from there, in a very similar kind of world order. They've changed that to, well, we now know it doesn't really matter where you go because the whole world is ascending, including underground. So if you're underground, it doesn't really help you much. In fact, it doesn't help you at all. In fact, it's probably worse. I cannot remember how some of this attached. Strange. I'm just staring at the drum kit here and trying to figure out how my hi-hat stood and connected. Oh, it's got its own stand. That makes perfect sense. So funny, you forget these things. And it was only last week that I packed it. That's very stiff. And so the plan B is to really just reconnect with all of the galactic races where they feel alliances can be made, and then survive from there. And is this a quote in the Matrix, or I'm sure it's from some movie where they say there are levels of survival we're willing to accept, and that's how it feels. It's like
it's better to survive in some form than not at all. I feel like we're all going to survive the Ascension, but the survival in this context is just about the survival of power. And like clinging on to the old paradigms, clinging on to the old structures.
This is extremely hard. I'm getting more used to talking. Thank you for joining. I hope you can hear me well in the chat. My progress so far, I'm not sure how long we've been online, but so far I've got a microphone connected to a mixing desk, some stuff moved around, and part of the drum kit set up over here. I'm going to move this drum kit. I think I'll just angle you so you can see me as I do it. About here, so I'm about to move it. Okay. What I love is this power cable, the power cable for the phone is just cut right across. And my personal journey with the like the reptilian energies was before really before my awakening. So my awakening, my last big awakening was in November 2017. Before then, the lead up to it, excuse me, I was aware of like this entity. As far as I was aware, I didn't know quite what it was. Excuse me, Patch. And it was outside my house. This was 2 houses ago, and it was constantly like it was like pacing backwards and forwards. This entity was like it was quite slow. It was big, and it was really strong, like a warrior. And it was very loving and very protective. And what I came to understand was that actually it's a spirit guide. I wasn't entirely sure when I first saw them, and it's like I could see them in my third eye, but I didn't really know what my third eye was at that point. And it was just this awareness, and this, whenever I connected, there was just this really like, you know, loving feeling. And so when I went through my awakening, I really didn't connect much with the I'm just checking for messages from the delivery. Don't think there's anything yet. And it wasn't until, I don't think I really saw my reptilian guide, maybe on and off, but I didn't really see them until, when was it? Not sure the exact time. It would have been about 3 years ago, and it was in meditation. And in fact, it was when I'd asked all my guides to step forwards. So it was really funny because I felt like so I've never looked down here before. It's just strangeness on the floor. This is a bit grotty. But to be fair, this garage is immaculate. This must be like the only grotty part. Let's put down this carpet. It was really funny. I've been so frustrated. I was like, I want to talk to my spirit guides. Like, when can I talk to them? When can I see them? When? And what happened was,
I just one day in my meditation, I was actually in a hotel room in Canada. I think I was in Vancouver, and I just said, "Guides, I'd like you to appear to me." And so literally, like something out of a movie set, or what do you call it, a movie premiere? You know, when they do lineups. They just all lined up in front of me, and that was just so cool, because when my guides like turned up, they were like they all showed themselves like in a row, and my eyes were closed, and I could see them in my third eye, and they just like introduced themselves one at a time, and I can go back and explain who everyone is that I met at the time, but one of them was Lucine, or Lucy, and I think it predated. I'm a big fan of watching Netflix, and watched the Disenchantment series. They're made by the same people as The Simpsons. My kids love them as well. Wow, this whole garage is on a slope, and that's going to be really annoying when you're playing drums to be at an angle. So I think I'm going to change the angle to be facing down. Let's try that. And so when I talked to Lucine, like, I was like, "Hello," and she, I could see, like, she was tall, and she had like this reptilian face, and she was like quite close to me, really quite a beautiful face, and she was just saying her name. She was saying Lucy, Lucine, Lucine, and that was a really beautiful meditation experience, and ever since then, and she had this, like, how to describe her energy, like really loving, really caring, and supportive and protective, yet like a warrior, like strong and aggressively protective, is probably a way of describing her. And so when whenever I need her now, whenever I talk to her, I often just ask for her by name, but I also connect with her through my like my dragon energy. And so it's really fun, actually. I haven't asked my dragon guide's name, and one of my coaches was doing a healing session on me, and they saw this like baby dragon, and I thought what was really beautiful about that was they were describing this dragon energy that was growing within me, and also as this kind of guide, as this part of my spirit team as well. So that was really exciting, because as I connect more and more with dragon energy, I feel much more able to this ground isn't particularly level. Yeah, but I find that's better. If I make the stand level, it helps. Let's get this at the right height. So yeah, for me, the theme of dragon energy and reptilian energy, I think this would be really good for camera angles as well. And it sounds terrible when it's not plugged in. And I dropped drumsticks too. give me a second. So yeah, tell me if you have spoken with your guides before, if you wanted to learn how to connect with your guides, how to talk to them on a regular basis. I can tell you my journey and offer my advice. I feel like everyone's journeys are different, and all uniquely beautiful. Yeah, feel free to ask in the chat if you want any suggestions, or if you have any challenges about connecting yourself. It's probably very squeaky and very noisy, but I just want to get it roughly set up. It's still very misshapen, but it's roughly in the right place. Yeah, this is a MIDI drum kit, so I connect it to a computer and then from the computer into my mixing desk, and that's what gives the sound. What I do plan to do here is to build like a room within a room, and that would be really cool because I can then fully soundproof it and get a real drum kit. And I don't really care about whether it's a expensive drum kit or like a really cheap secondhand one. I just think it'd be so good because after doing over 100 studio albums, I'm like, I'm so ready for a real drum kit, and I find them a lot easier to play than the electric. The main reason I just use an electric one is because of the noise, because I haven't had a fully soundproof studio yet. Well, in a good time. Yeah, I could talk a little bit about how I connect with my guides. So this is really interesting. Now I have a big gap. So here's my drums they're pretty much into the corner. I think it's the right thing to put in the corner. How do we do for power? 15%, not bad. I'm going to swap back over to the other plug. Yeah, so my like awakening journey, my spiritual awakening journey, all kicked off in 2017, November 2017, and I was in a Kundalini yoga session, and I'd never meditated before. I had never been in a yoga session before. I didn't know what Kundalini was. But a friend had invited me along and said, "Oh, you should come along. You'd enjoy it." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And it was in this hall. It was long. It was like 2 hours or something. And it was in this hallway. This like village hall. And it was really cool. It was a really relaxed, very friendly, like small group, and what I loved was it's the openness of everyone. Like there were quite a few like total beginners there. I'm just setting up a microphone stand in the corner of the drums. Oh, it's amazing! I'm feeling it taking shape. And through the session, I think it was quite quick after we started meditating. I just started experiencing like visuals that I'd never seen before in my life. I was seeing
these colors and energies, and I saw what to me looked like planets and galaxies being formed around the universe, and like star nebulas, and it was incredible. I was like, I was thinking, this is amazing. I've done many things in my life, but I've never meditated before. Like, where's this been all my life? It's truly incredible. And so I really enjoyed doing that. And afterwards, I'm sure it's not a coincidence, afterwards there was also a like a sound healing session for my friend, and that was really beautiful. And it wasn't as like intense, but it was still quite incredible to feel sound traveling through my body in meditation, and to see and feel sound as energy for the first time in my life, and to truly witness its potential. And I guess it's not a coincidence that there's no such things as coincidences. But I would then go on, to create music each day using healing frequencies, setting the intention to heal others. And now I'm just wondering, why am I moving this desk to the left? Because I need it to be close enough to be able to start recording. So the question is, what would go here? Yeah, I think we should. Hello, Patch. I should introduce my dog Patch, because he's been very patient, and he should have like his own TikTok channel, isn't he? So cute. Say hello, Patch. Hello, Patch. You're a good boy, aren't you? My little partner in crime. It's like we have matching hair too. So where'd I get to? Yeah, through my awakening. Then I just kept doing it, like every day. Like every day I would go for a run. I'm a person of habit for sure. And I would just go for a run in the morning, come back, and before I did like my gym exercises, and don't ask why it's in this order, I would then just go on and meditate. And I was repeating like a kind of summary of the steps. It's like a little bit of yoga to get me in the right position. And then I would just get together and get myself together and meditate. And that was really beautiful. Quite early on, I decided, my intuition was to always have an intention. Like, don't just do something, unless you have like a strong intention behind it. And so for me, my intention was my mission. I'd already decided that I wanted my mission to be to raise the vibration of billions of hearts to help this whole planet on an ascension journey. And I wanted to write to achieve this through writing a song every day, or just writing songs. It didn't need to be every day. And that's what I experienced, was this this desire to then talk to my guides. I cannot remember where I put this computer. But it's there for now. It's just out of the way. And so I talked to my guides, and I just thought I could just ask them to give me a message each day, because I'd had such a powerful experience to begin with. And that's what I did. I just started every day just saying the same thing, which was guides, higher self, and source. What messages do you have for me today? And and that was such a beautiful experience, and still is every day, because as I started to journey through this, I just have received so many incredible, beautiful messages. And after doing this, I'm not sure, around, I think it was around the same time, about 900 times, 900 songs in, I then thought to myself, I really love doing this, and it feels infinite. Like, it feels like every time I ask for a message, and like the words for me come through like in my heart, they come through very quietly and calmly. That I when I get these messages through, I started wanting to share them as well, and so I began posting a song every day, as well as the meditation messages. I must be close to having posted 1,000 daily meditation messages, and I keep them to 1 minute because I really want to have focus, and I never write them down, just like my song lyrics. I don't write them down. I just they're a mixture of me. So when I receive a message in meditation, I say it out loud, and then I after I say it out loud, I then just it's like when you say it out loud, it brings it into this consciousness. You're just like, this is fantastic, because I am expressing myself. I'm like bringing in these higher dimension messages, and then bringing them into this reality through this human form of speaking them out loud. And then when I say them in meditation, I'm like, hey, here is what I've felt. Sometimes like things are added as well, like especially when I go outside and record them. That's really beautiful. I just get this like beautiful additions. Often the birds are like squawking away, and you know, the trees and the wind and all these things. So that's really beautiful. And yeah, when I then go through and record the videos, it's also helpful for me because I do like a 1 minute meditation, and then I can then create a song from that. So far that's been over 1,800 songs, including 107. Yesterday I released my 107th album since November 2017, and yeah, it's just a beautiful journey. And yeah, I feel like everyone has spirit guides, and they can talk to them whenever they want. I even feel like now I talk to them and to my higher self, kind of include my higher self as part of that team. Whenever I'm doing anything, like even this task just now, like always listening to that kind of inner voice about what are you doing? Are you setting, if I'm setting something up, like what is the right way of doing it? It's really funny, like I'll often ask, that was really strange. And it just looked like the corner of my eye, this like big shadow being just like come across. I'm just going to check if there's anyone outside. Practically been right.
No, but it's beautiful.
So just give me a second and I'm just going to clear this area. There. And I'm going to move this. So what I imagined there, I was just like creating this like energy bubble around me to begin with. So I connected a light cord from my heart up to source, and then down into the heart of Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, and then I really brought in this energy to this golden light energy to cleanse and heal this area. So start with myself, create a bubble around myself, and then around this garage, and then around this home, and then just push away any negative energies or entities, and to not give them permission. So there we go. I've been on for a little while. I'm going to take a break now, and yeah, thank you so much for coming along and joining me, and I hope that you continue to have a beautiful day. Sending love from Scotland.